Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, January 29th, 2024, 9:21 a.m. Central Standard Time, near record high in the DFW Metroplex. You always kind of assume that February is the month where it gets really cold. It just might be done. I don't know. We might just be done with the cold weather. That's just kind of what it feels like. It might just be like in the 60s from here on out. Who knows? But anyways, it is 9:21 a.m. Central Standard Time. A little bit late, but nonetheless, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can check these out live on playback.tv/slightlybiased. If you're watching this on playback.tv/slightlybiased, you can check this out on the Slightly Biased Clips channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a semi-busy day of basketball yesterday. Of course, the NFL playoffs going on. The NBA is, I think, rightfully a little scared of scheduling and stuff like that. Finn, can I help you already? We're this early into the show, and Finn's making his voice heard. Huh? This early into the show, Finn is making sure his voice is heard. A decent amount of stuff to discuss from yesterday's games. Of course, I do kind of want to lead off with some frustrations. Kyrie Irving has been ruled out for tonight's Dallas Mavericks game against the Magic. And what's a little bit alarming about that is that he was ruled out yesterday. So there wasn't some doubtful, he's going to see how it looks and shoot around. He's going to see how it feels warming up for the game. Just out. And this is starting to become very alarming. Starting to become very alarming. We got a couple games left in January. The Mavericks 6-7 over the course of the month with a negative net rating. They're 2-4 over the last 2 weeks with a -7 net rating. That is the third worst in the league over that stretch, with the league worst defense over that stretch as well. And things are starting to look a little scary for the team. No two ways around it. And Luka, back-to-back, of course, Friday night dropped 73 points. Masterful performance. One of the greatest performances you'll ever see in the history of the sport. Saturday, Mavs play the Kings. Tough second night of a back-to-back. Luka plays 46 minutes. Over 90 minutes combined in a back-to-back. Late January. Having to do pretty much everything for the team to have a chance to win. Now, that's not good. You don't need me to tell you that. That's not good. Doesn't bode well for the future of this team, to be honest with you, in the remainder of this season, if you're putting this much stress on Luka. And it does make me wonder, does the team see this? Who knows how? We don't know. The frustrating part about the Mavericks injuries this year is we don't know when any of these guys are coming back. We don't know when any of these guys are coming back. It's incredibly frustrating. We know Derrick Jones Jr. sprained his wrist. That it feels fortunate that that's only a sprain and not something worse. But when's he coming back? We don't know. When's Dwight Powell coming back? We don't know. We don't even know what the fuck's going on there. When's Kyrie coming back? Like, do we know? Do we have an idea? Like, can Kyrie not go out there and just be kind of a diversion, or just I know hurting your thumb on his shooting hand. I know that's tough, but could he not be like a diversion almost? Like, just have him out there. We're gonna have you be almost like a Kyle Lowry. Just go out there and pass the ball, run an offense when the ball gets to you and Luka's out. You don't have to shoot. If they feel like the injury can worsen, okay, that's understandable. But it does make me wonder, with like 10 days until the trade deadline, does the team shift their priorities towards offense now because Kyrie's been out? And honestly, this is an offense that hasn't been that great. They're 13th in offense in the month of January. I think they're around like 10th over the course of the whole season, which for a team like Dallas that wants to win by playing offense, playing offense, you know, being 8th according to EPM, being 8th in offense, it's not really going to be good enough. You need to be in the top 5. You need to be in the top 5. You just do. So maybe they shift their focus completely to that. I mean, we're talking about all these defensive-minded wings and stuff like that, forwards that the Mavs can go after. Maybe they do go after a Boyan. Fuck, maybe they do go after Zach LaVine. I don't know. That would be so incredibly stupid to me for many different reasons. But maybe they say, you know what? We need an actual reliable pack-a-punch number three option that can score a lot. And if Kyrie does miss time, he can easily step in and be the number 2. And even if Kyrie and Luka miss time, they can step in and be the number 1. I think that would be so incredibly dumb. But, maybe they look at it like that. The Mavericks have been tied to him a trillion, billion, million times. I don't know. I personally wouldn't like it. But maybe they do shift their focus. We don't. The problem is we don't know. That's the problem. It's going to be interesting. Jamal Mosley is such an incredible coach. We could have had him, but took mid. Yes. Okay. You don't have to spam your messages in the chat. If that's going to be the message where it derails the conversation so much, you don't have to spam it. Spam it. Because this goes on YouTube, or more people watch on YouTube, and they don't know what's going on in the chat. So they just hear me randomly fucking saying that. And then they're like, what? What does that have to do with anything? Oh, I'm just reading a chat that got spammed a million times. What up, Greg? Okay. So anyways, Kyrie's out. This will be game number 4 or 5 in a row that Kyrie has missed. And man, it's just tough. And they go up against a Magic team that is one of the best defenses in the league, obviously. They've been scuffling lately. No two ways around it. They haven't been very good in the month of January. But they're a very, very difficult defense. They are on the second night of a back-to-back, but they're young. They're young, and they just kind of demolished the Suns defensively last night. Made life living hell for them. And that worries me greatly for this Mavericks team tonight. A Mavericks team that is in desperate need of wins now. Desperate need of wins. You don't. I mentioned this in my one-word reaction after the Kings game. A game that I thought I don't think it's an embarrassing loss. The Mavericks lost to the Kings a couple nights ago. It is what it is. Second night of a back-to-back. No Kyrie, no Exum. You're missing potentially 3 starters if you count Exum and Derek Jones Jr. as starters because that's what Kidd said he wanted. But I didn't think that was a bad loss. You could even look at it from a moral victory point of view and say, yeah, you know what? They played really well and fought hard, and Grant Williams did some things and showed some life. Well, they're now to 8th in the Western Conference, a game and a half up on the Lakers, who are 9th, a game and a half up on the Jazz, who are 10th, and 3.5 games up on the Rockets, 4.5 games up on the Warriors. It's getting a little uncomfortable. However, they're only 2 games back of the 5 seed. So who knows? I mean, there's a lot of different directions this thing can go. They just need to get healthy. It's the worst excuse in the world. It sucks because you don't want to fall back on injuries because the injury card's a dangerous one. Because they could approach the deadline and say, we just haven't been healthy all year. We don't want to make a sizable move without really knowing what this team is, and we don't know what this team is because they're so injured. We don't know what this team is because they're injured. So let's not make a trade. Let's just sit tight and see what this team looks like when they're healthy. Or you could get to the offseason, a failed season. Maybe you lose in the play-in, or hell, maybe you make the playoffs and lose in round 1, or whatever the case may be. Then you say, oh well, we were injured all year. Let's bring this team back and see what they look like, and we can make adjustments at the trade deadline next year if needed. It's a scary place when you can use injuries as an excuse. But man, it's tough. It is tough. Kyrie's played in under half the games since he's been here. The thumb one is a frustrating one in my opinion. You can't get mad at the Dwight Powell one. Dwight Powell falling on his knee, freak injury, freak accident. The thumb one is a little, what's going on here? He played in the game, he got injured. Granted, didn't play well and said that it threw him off. But even in that game, a 9-point loss to the Celtics, he was a neutral. He was a 0. He wasn't a net negative or anything like that. I think just having him out there is pretty important. Having him out there is pretty damn important. And this will be his 4th straight game that he's missed. It's just unfortunate. I do think Exum just missed because of a back-to-back. So unfortunate for the Mavs. They got to get healthy. They got to get healthy. And the Magic are massive. And they played a very impressive game last night against the Phoenix Suns. Look at that segue. Can I join the stage? Not right now. I'm recording this for YouTube, and it would just be weird. The Magic go on a miraculous run. In the fourth quarter of this game. To put it away. I couldn't believe what they said on the broadcast. But it was a 21-2 run at one point. Over 7.5 minutes. (21-2) run. The Suns scored 22 points in 7.5 minutes. They shot 56% from the field. 56% from the field and still lost and only scored 98 points. They turned the ball over 22 times. 7 for KD, who is just a complete and total fucking ghost in this game. See, you know what's actually really funny about this? Is people complain and bitch whenever Luka does something nice. Oh, he doesn't involve his teammates, whatever the case may be. Whenever Booker has big scoring games, the Suns' offense is like legitimately incredibly slow. It is kind of wonky. Because his ISO, because he's not a point guard in the real traditional sense. The way like Luka's a legit point guard. Where when Booker gets going and his shots falling, and he had some incredibly tough shots last night. It is like he's holding the ball for damn near the entire possession. Like there's no real flow to the offense. Where Luka gets a lot of shit for being a ball hog, I think he really does just take what the defense gives him. And whether that's passing it out or whatever the case may be. It does feel like slow and wonky whenever Booker's going off. And you can't really blame him because he was hitting some incredibly tough shots. Incredibly tough shots. Because I thought Jalen Suggs played some really good defense on him. But, you know, he still scored 44 points on 17 of 26. Pretty funny. But again, I thought it was pretty good defense. Booker is the fit Paul Pierce. I mean, Booker is like legitimately really good. When he gets going like this, he has stretches where he's unstoppable. But again, the flow of the offense just feels really weird. But you can't like blame it on him because KD was a travesty. Bradley Beal, travesty. I do not see what Bradley Beal brings to the table for them still. Even when they were hot and going and rolling, you know, just because they were hitting shots, really. Beal's not a catch and shoot guy. He never has been in his career. I guess he provides rim pressure that they've kind of lacked a little bit, but even then they still don't get that much pressure on the rim. Like that's a great point. You watched the Suns and like you almost forget Bradley Beal's even on the floor sometimes. And they did kind of miss Nurkic in this game. I felt like they needed their point center because Nurkic plays that role for them. And that's a scary proposition if you're heavily relying on Yusuf Nurkic. But Paolo had 26 points. Again, defensively, it was just locked down. Mo Wagner played really well in this game. Jonathan Isaac was a menace defensively, plus 17 in 23 minutes. A block, 2 blocks, and a steal. When they clamp up defensively, they're fun to watch. They've been in a bit of a rut lately. They still have a top 4 defense over the course of the season. It's not the year for the Magic, and I think in my mock trade video, which I hope to have out tomorrow. I hope to have that video out tomorrow. I do have the Magic getting somebody to help them offensively. But I don't think they need to do anything too crazy. Like, you're a good team. You might be a playing team, which is really, really, really solid for where you're at in your development and in the process. There's no reason to really rush things. Tim does make a lot of sense for the Magic. It's not Tim. The NBA is expected to review the decision to have Joel Embiid sit out against the Nuggets. Oh, my God. Thank you for saying that because we didn't do a slightly live yesterday, and I didn't get to mention it. Obviously, late to the party. Dude, that shit was embarrassing. I don't know who should be embarrassed of it. I doubt Embiid. I doubt seriously that Embiid went back to the locker room and said, hey, guys, I don't want to play. Like, I don't want to play against the Nuggets in Denver. I don't want to play against them. Sorry. And I know it's 30 minutes before the game, but I don't want to. I really highly doubt that that's the case. But that shit was embarrassing, man. It was poetic, too, because before the game and, like, the ESPN horrible dog shit, awful, horrendous, horrific, terrible, terrifying, mortifying pregame show or whatever that they have with Stephen A. Smith and Bob Myers. I mean, what a fucking catastrophe and train wreck that is. They were talking about how Luka scoring 73, how it was bad look for the league and terrible defense and embarrassing for the league. Then, like, 10 minutes later, this shit happens. Like, one of the most highly anticipated matchups of the season. Jokic and Embiid in Denver, where Embiid hadn't played since 2019. A chance, to really see those two duel in Denver. And, of course, only a week and a half after Embiid got the better of Jokic in a really fun matchup where Embiid just went fucking nuclear. 20 minutes before game time, man, with like no injury designation before the game. That's trash. Joel Embiid didn't enter the injury report, I'm told, until 15 minutes before tip-off, and for sure that's something that the league will have to review. What is Myers doing? He has another job for an NFL team. Isn't he already done, though? Wasn't he just helping them find a coach? Do they have a coach yet? The Washington Commandos? Stephen A's an idiot for saying that about Luka. Yeah. I mean, it's a couple of days old at this point, and I don't want to rehash it. Is Embiid going to play versus the Blazers? See, that's the thing. If Embiid plays tonight, man, that's pathetic. I'm sorry, but it is. And I saw people who were like, oh, well, what are you going to do? Like, he actually had a knee injury that flared up. He hurt his knee. I was watching the game. He hurt his knee in the second quarter against the Pacers with like 6 minutes left. The Sixers went on to get blown out in that game. But God damn it, wouldn't you know it? Joel Embiid made sure he stayed in long enough to get 30 points. He's got that 30-point streak. Twitter notification? As testing continues on All-Star Knicks. Julius Randle got hurt. Knicks All-Star forward Julius Randle's shoulder. Indications are optimistic that his absence will be measured in weeks, not months. That actually is pretty important for them. Woj pod. Yeah, join me on my podcast. What if the Mavs lose the next 5 and Luka plays 40 minutes every game and the Kyrie misses the next 3? That'd be bad. What do you want me to say? That'd be bad. But Embiid made sure he played that Pacers game long enough to get 31 points. Another Twitter notification. Shams reposted. I gotta be real. Does Shams break any news anymore? Not Shams, sorry. Woj. Like, when was the last time Woj was the one who had the first report? I'm teetering on just taking off notifications for him. I'm believing it. I might do it. I'm believing I'm done. So, anyways, pretty sad stuff from Embiid. He better not play tonight. I'm just saying it. It would be a fucking horrible look. I don't care. And he can only miss 6 more games before he falls under the 65 game threshold. He's gonna do the shit the Nets do if he's hurt, I swear. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. If it's getting close to the season and Embiid can't miss another game, are they gonna trot him out there for 5 minutes? They're gonna trot him out there for opening tip and then get him out the game? Surely not, right? That would be sad, but whenever you put like a game threshold on these type of things, that's the type of fuckery that you might encounter. Wasn't there did they put a minute? So the way to combat that would be like you have to play X amount of minutes in a game for it to count. That would be the way to combat that. But then it's difficult to figure out, like, all right, well, what about the players who are kind of role guys? Might get like 9 minutes in a game. But then, like, what? Another Twitter notification? This better not be some bullshit. Okay, we don't need 15 tweets about the same thing. That's what annoys me sometimes. We already know. We just saw the Julius Randle report. We don't need another fucking tweet about it. How do you only miss a couple of weeks with a dislocated shoulder? Explain that to me. I've had some friends who have like dislocated his shoulder. My dad has had shoulder problems where he's dislocated his shoulder. And, you know, these are professional athletes with access to some of the best medical facilities and steroids in the world. But everyone I know who's ever dislocated their shoulder, like, they've been debilitated for like months on end. And if you don't get the right surgery, and I'm assuming, again, he's got the best treatment in the world pretty much, like, you'll just pop that shit out of place every time you raise your arms. Like, my dad, when I was younger, dislocated his shoulder in a skiing accident, which is hilarious for its own separate reasons because I think we went skiing as a family collectively like one singular time or twice. I don't know why this motherfucker thought he was going to hit the slopes and be on some crazy shit. But he did try, and he did dislocate his shoulder, as I said. He had to walk all the way down the mountain with a dislocated shoulder. No, I'm trash at skiing. Not rich enough. Anytime somebody says they're really good skiing or snowboarding, I'm like, oh, your dad's a executive at Frito-Lay, and he's going to hire you the moment you graduate college. Right. That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear. Right. Your dad's the CFO at PepsiCo. Okay. But I'm trash at it. I'm horrible. And it's gotten to the point where I'm old enough now where I can't be good at it. Because what am I going to do? I'm going to be, you know, in my late 20s on the fucking bunny slopes? No thanks. That's embarrassing. Like, am I really going to be surrounded by, you know, 8-year-olds on the bunny slopes? No, thank you. No, thanks. Like, we've already passed it. I feel like you have to learn skiing early, or else it's just embarrassing. All that to say, you know, when my dad fucked his shoulder up, he had to get surgery like 2 years later because he would literally pop his shoulder out of place anytime he raised his arm. So a little bit shocking that only a few weeks, but hey, whatever. If that's what they say. Cool. What else happened across the league last night? Let's see. Pacers beat the Grizzlies. Pacers on a little 3-game winning streak now, starting to figure some stuff out. Again, it always feels like after like really high-profile trades, the team that trades for like the really good player always kind of loses their first couple games before then going on a stretch. The only team I can think of recently that didn't do that was the fucking Dallas Mavericks. After they traded for Kyrie, felt like they would turn it around and their season actually tanked. Ben Math went off. I kind of like this Grizzlies team. They're kind of frisky to me. In the month of January, they're 8-6. And did Ja play at all during this month? When was he like officially ruled out for the season? You know, over that stretch, they've had the 9th best defense. So, been a little frisky. You got a nice defensive team, but the Pacers are starting to figure it out. Hawks beat the Raptors in a hilarious game. Just a hilarious game. This is one of those wins for the Hawks where you're like, okay, I guess. Yes, Trae Young did have a disastrous turnover late in this game that looked like was going to ice it for the Raptors. Jordan Nora, 24 points off the bench. Grady Dick had this had to be Grady Dick's best game in the NBA. Javonte Porter had a good game. Jonte Porter, right? Jonte Porter had a nice game. The Hawks just barely get by. Saddiq Bey had a really good game, which is 15 free throws for Saddiq Bey. What the fuck? Yeah, Dick was pretty big in this one. Grady Dick in the closing lineup. Well, they were like super shorthanded. Saddiq Bey had the game-winning tip-in off a Trae Young miss. Could this be, Saddiq Bey is one of those guys I think could very easily get traded between now and the trade deadline. And what would be kind of a move. I think anyone who's really paid attention to the Hawks or Saddiq Bey knows that what does Bey do for you? No shooting or defense? No. I don't think Saddiq Bey's good. He hasn't been very good really at all. And I think he's just a not so good player, to be completely and brutally honest with you. He is yoked. He is yoked. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. He's yoked. What's this? Bro got his chain snatched and threw the ball at him. Why is Anthony Simons always on the shit end of these plays, man? Quick Super Bowl winner prediction. Man, I got 2 weeks. I did miss my both picks yesterday. I was on a hot streak in the NFL picks. I only missed one in the whole playoffs going into yesterday. I did pick the Lions to win. I did pick the Ravens to win. Unfortunate. Suns lost to the Magic. We were talking about that. Oh, the Pistons. How do we go this long without talking about this? The Pistons beat the Thunder. No weird injury stuff going on. No weird back-to-backs. The Pistons just straight up beat the Thunder. They took all of the Detroit sports luck here. One of the worst games I've seen the Thunder have this season. Waved the white flag in the fourth quarter. Shea never went in the fourth. Thunder were on a back-to-back. No, they were not. I think the Pistons were actually on a back-to-back. I think the Thunder are on a back-to-back tonight. Yeah, they were on the first leg of a back-to-back. Pistons, I think, were actually on the second. Because they played 2 12 o'clock games in a row. The NBA said, man, hey, we're getting you out of the way early in the morning. Okay? You got an 11 a.m. tip-off. We'll get you done and over with by 2 p.m. People might sleep through it. But these were the type of games I was kind of envisioning the Pistons having this season, where I didn't think they'd be good or anything, but they'd show their flashes here and there where you're like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Like, here we go. The Pistons, they've figured some stuff out, and they make like a interesting move in the offseason. Like, they could be good soon. And that has not been the case. But games like yesterday, like Jaylen Duran was a monster. An absolute monster. 22 points, 21 rebounds, 9 offensive rebounds. I mean, he was sunning Chet. He was sunning Chet. It was kind of embarrassing what was happening out there. He's got like this, Jaylen Duran's got like this look in his eye. Difference between D-Live and Duran game. I mean, Duran is like much more offensive focused, bulkier guy with an interesting offensive bag with like pretty high upside, pretty high like playmaking upside. D-Live's like a better defender. And Ivy was really solid in this game too. 19 points. Did go 7 of 20 from the field, but he shows a lot of playmaking flashes that are really interesting to me. I think in theory they want Cade Cunningham to be like, I mean, I think either they've openly said this or alluded to it. Like, they kind of want Cade Cunningham to be their Luka almost, where the ball's in his hands and he's this guy who can score and play make. Now, unfortunately for them, I wouldn't even say he's like Walmart Luka. I don't even know what version of him he would be. Wish Luka? AliExpress Luka? Ivy's got like some real significant Timu. Ivy's got some real significant playmaking chops that really interest me. And him and Duran have like a nice little connection going. I don't understand how this team lost 28 straight games. It didn't make any sense to me at the time. It doesn't make any sense to me now. But they've been pretty solid lately. Like, they're starting to figure some stuff out. They're still shit, don't get me wrong. But in the month of January, they went 3-11, but they had the 25th net rating. They were 25th in net rating. They were 25th in net rating. They weren't the lowest. They weren't the worst. They're 3-4 in the last 2 weeks. There you go. They have a better net rating in the last 2 weeks than the Mavericks do. How about that? Sats hit some big shots in this game. Just a stinker for the Thunder. I mean, no real reason to overreact, I don't think. Just a stinker. Couldn't hit threes. That's that. I mean, you just kind of move on. It sucks to lose to the Pistons. Fortunately for you, it was on a conference championship day in the NFL. Pretty much nobody gives a shit. It was funny watching this game, though. Because anytime they pan to the crowd, this game is at, when did this game start? Like 11 in the morning? This game started early. Okay, 1 p.m. Anytime they pan to the crowd, everyone in attendance was wearing like Lions jerseys or Lions sweatshirts or whatever. They started a Jared Goff chant at one point. It was kind of fun. Detroit's a great sports city. They deserve better teams. They really do. A nice win for the Pistons. They used all the luck. And then the Bulls beat the Trailblazers. I had this game on in the background. Admittedly, I don't really know what happened in it. Yeah. Thunder Reddit. I was see, like, I don't think it's that disastrous of a loss, so I don't really feel like going and perusing their subreddit. I want to say for the Blazers, I'm just looking at the minute distribution here for the Blazers. At what point do you say, all right, Brogdon's not going to be on this team in like 10 days, right? Because you're 13-33. What's Brogdon doing playing nearly 40 minutes for you? Brogdon, 40 minutes. Scoot, 22 minutes. You know, like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Jeremy Grant, 37 minutes. Can we get like our young guys in there a little bit more? Can we see some more Toumani Camara? I know he's been terrible offensively, but Brogdon to the Knicks is rumored. Yeah, so not to spoil my trade deadline video, which I hope tomorrow is the goal. I have pinned it down. I have, I think, like 8 trades. I think I've had 8 trades. It keeps promising. It's a lot of work. The trade deadline video always takes you way too much time, and it's never worth it. It's harder than you think. Brogdon to the Knicks is like a trade that makes all the sense in the world. all the sense in the world. So that's what happened across the NBA world last night. We didn't do slightly early yesterday. I got to sleep in. Man, I didn't get out of bed until 12. It was fucking awesome. Of course, Saturday night, we had an absolute banger of a game. The Clippers blow out the Celtics in such an impressive fashion that it's like, wait a second, are the Clippers winning the finals? Are we like overthinking this? Are we giving the Nuggets too much benefit of the doubt? Like, are the Clippers just the team right now in their healthy form? Possible, man. It's possible. Pelicans get blown out again. Who the fuck is this team? I don't know. They get an impressive win one night and get the shit kicked out of them the next night. I have no idea who they are as a basketball organization. Timberwolves, yet another embarrassing, disastrous fourth quarter for them. And then the Lakers and Warriors, an absolute banger of a game. Double overtime. Incredible performances. D'Angelo Russell, some insane shot making. LeBron winning it at the line. I do wonder, LeBron with a 36-point, 20 rebound, 12 assist triple-double. Has D'Angelo Russell, who has been really solid over the last couple of weeks, has his uptick in play led to them almost thinking, you know what, we can keep him. Let's not do a trade. Let's keep D'Lo. Because part of me feels like they might not trick themselves into doing that. Like, they might be like, all right, we're not falling for this shit. We know how it goes in the postseason. But another part of me feels like maybe they don't want to give up those future firsts. Like, maybe they see it. LeBron's not going to be here much longer. We got to have some out for ourselves down the line. Some crazy plus minuses in this game. Jared Vanderbilt in a 1-point win was a plus 30. Draymond Green in a 1-point loss was a plus 31. You saw why Draymond is so important to this team right there in this game. Clear cut. Steph was really good in this one. 46 points. Did shoot 35 times, but you know, the game is the game. The game is the game. And then tonight, Mavericks and Magic. Knicks Hornets. Clippers Cavs is a good one. Clippers have a decent argument for being the best team in the league currently. The Cavaliers, one of the hottest teams in the league. They had the best net rating in the month of January. So how about that? Pelicans Celtics. I would say that's a good one. I don't know what fucking Pelicans team we're going to see. Celtics coming off of a disastrous home loss. Nets Jazz. Kind of surprised Utah's only a 1.5 point favorite. Suns Heat. It's a pretty good one. Lakers Rockets. There's some pretty interesting like play-in implications there. Kings Grizzlies. Timberwolves Thunder. Okay. You got my attention. Wizards Spurs. Bucks Nuggets. Damn, there's some bangers tonight. What on earth? Sixers and Blazers. Why is this game on national television? Why the hell is this game on national TV? Because they know Joel Embiid is going to play and probably going to score 80 points. Oh, yeah. KD saying he didn't want a tribute video. All right, then don't give him one. If I'm the Nets, that's exactly what I'm saying. Some random guy on Twitter. I don't know if this is a random guy or not. I don't know who he is, though. Lower profile guys get videos because there's no real stakes to their time with the team. A superstar talent. A Twitter notification. Hold on a second. There's optimism. Indiana Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton will return to the lineup versus the Boston Celtics on Tuesday. All right, hopefully he's ready this time. Hopefully he's ready. I think teams give tribute videos to pretty much everyone. Please don't. The night will be better without it. KD doesn't want a tribute video. He requested more trades in playoff series 1 during his time here. Jesus. Is he wrong? How many did they only win 1 playoff series? They did, didn't they? Beat the Celtics year 1, did they? Or did they win 2? Oh yeah, they beat the No, that wasn't year one. And then lost the second round of the Bucks. Yeah, they've won one. They won one playoff series. Damn. Yep, Kyrie got injured, and Harden had a hamstring thing. They got unlucky that year. They could have easily won the finals. Seems like me and Nets frequent on the same page. Everyone hates the Nets. It's funny because everyone gave Kyrie so much shit for wanting out. That was such a nightmare. Everyone wanted out of there. It was not Kyrie's fault. All right, if I'm the Nets, Katie's like, don't give me a tribute video. All right, bet we won't. Doesn't matter to us. We won't give your ass one. Fine with us. Damn, I need coffee. All right, let's wrap this up. Somebody asked for another Mavericks mock trade. I was cooking something up. I was chefing something up in the kitchen. Let me make it really quickly here off to the side, and then I'll let you in on it. And you might think to yourself, whenever I show this, what in the fuck am I looking at? But it makes some sense to me. It does make some sense to me. Wait, I have to adjust it. So let's discuss this one right here. Maxi Kleber goes to the Heat. The Mavericks get Caleb Martin. And then these just two guys. Thomas Bryant, I guess, could be a center for you. But Drew Smith just has to be in here. So let me explain why I think this trade can make some sense. Caleb Martin has not been good at all this season. Been injured, but has just straight up not been good at all. And the Heat, probably knowing them, have no real desire to pay him in the offseason, whatever he might get. So they could look to move him. And the way the Heat operate, typically, this was part of the Rozier trade. This is what people said after the Rozier trade, that trading expiring contracts for contracts under control for a few years opens up the Heat making moves with contracts and trades and stuff like that. So having Maxi Kleber at $11 million next summer could help them make some trades. Why do the Mavericks do this? Well, Caleb Martin kind of fits a need for you, even if he's been trashed this year. But also, you just get off the Maxi contract. I mean, if we're just being honest, like you get off the Maxi contract. That's why you would do it. You get off the Maxi deal. And maybe the Heat talked themselves into Maxi being something for them. But then again, it's like, well, why don't the Mavericks just keep Maxi? Because they're going to need contracts to trade. Again, I don't have any like really fun, oh my God, the Mavericks get like, I don't have any fun like, oh my God, the Mavericks get this great player who's going to really help them. I don't have any of those fun trades this year. I don't think they happen. Mavs only have assets to get players who are playing bad and hope to play better here, like Wiggins. Yeah. And then I'm sure in this deal, like you just cut Drew Smith. You could probably like use Thomas Bryant. Did you predict the Kyrie trade? I would say I predicted it. I did want it badly though, and I still stand on that. For what they gave up to get a player of Kyrie's caliber, and hopefully he's back soon, and we can just kind of put this little saga behind us. Is Kuzma really buy low though? Wiggins is the definition of buy low. Wiggins is such a buy low candidate that you might even get something for trading for him. Like, you might get some seconds just for taking on that contract. That's how much of a buy low guy he is. When the Wizards traded for KP, that was buying low. Give up Dinwiddie and Bertans for KP? Okay. Deal. Where do I sign? Dallas gets Wiggins and Gafford. The Warriors get Seth Curry, Korkmaz, Rocco. Wizards get Holmes, 4 seconds. Sixers get THJ. That's actually kind of interesting. That's an interesting trade proposal. I'm trying to think about who would say no to that. I'm wondering if the Wizards could maybe get a first for Gafford. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility they could. However, there is a world where teams could look at a mid to late first round pick and say, you know what, I'd rather have the 4 seconds. Although 1 from the Mavs, 2 from the Sixers. Those Sixers ones will probably be garbage. Do it on Fanspo. All right. We'll throw it together here on Fanspo. It's kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of like what you're cooking. All right, so Holmes goes to the Wizards. Tim goes to the Sixers. Gafford goes to the Mavericks. Korkmaz, Rocco, who all was it? Seth Curry goes to the Warriors. Okay, I'm starting to wonder, like, this would be absolutely giving up if you're the Warriors, right? Because you're not getting, like, really anyone of value back. Maybe they feel like Korkmaz can do shit for them. Or Rocco can come in and do shit for them. But all those guys are expiring, though. Wiggins to the Mavericks. Is this all the right pieces? We'll just send this one to the Wizards. Sixers. How many? God, the Sixers have 2. The Sixers have a ton of second round picks to trade. So the Sixers are basically giving up 2 seconds and a bunch of expirings for Tim Hardaway Jr. All right, hold on a second. This is a little interesting. I'm not going to lie to you. Did you think of this one? It's a pretty good one. I'm not going to lie to you. I just wonder if the Wizards are the one who says no. For the Sixers, you get a shooter who can, like, probably help you in a real significant way, honestly. And you're only giving up 2 expirings in 2 seconds. It's interesting. Wasn't there some Tim Hardaway Jr. to the Sixers rumors and rumblings at one point? Or am I thinking of Reggie Bullock? That was Reggie. Warriors get off of the Wiggins contract, and the only thing they have to do is send out a second, and they get some expirings and some players who could maybe help them. Mavericks get a big forward and a backup center. And the Wizards take on Rashawn Holmes. 4 seconds. Part of me feels like the Wizards would want a first for Gafford. I might steal this. I can envision Tim Hardaway Jr. in a Sixers jersey. So the Mavericks would be getting basically 2 seconds from the Sixers for Tim Hardaway, and then they're rerouting those to the Wizards. This is pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie to you.